Matt, I'm looking forward to kicking off this series with you.
Me too.
So you are down here, you're speaking at the, what do we call this? The Great Western Conference.
Great Western Conference.
And you were chatting earlier today.
Yeah.
I was hearing some interesting things from you about cost of lead acquisition. So I want to talk about, like, on this segment, what I really want to do is I want to talk a little bit about what you're seeing across the residential services space.
Yes.
Cost for customer acquisition.
This is scary. This is wood, so I'm going to knock on this.
Okay.
When I say this out loud, the next challenge that the universe presents you is the ability to do it again.
Okay.
In our industry specifically, it is not uncommon to see something north of $130 for cost per conversion, right? That's a conversion cost, not the acquisition cost. Because then you still have to factor in things like the conversion ratio of your inside sales team or outside sales team or whoever.
Well, so what is that? Like, explain this to a layman like myself.
Yeah.
What does cost per conversion mean?
Cost per
how would you
conversion,
calculate it?
a conversion for a digital marketing company for Lizard specifically means a call that lasts longer than 30 seconds or a form that's filled out to submit an inquiry about business.
Okay.
So those two things are opportunities for a business that we work with to capitalize on in the service space. So it's what we're seeing in the industry, and oh God, Anissa, I hope you're watching.
It'll be different next week.
What we're seeing in the space is north of $130, which is insane. That means to get the phone to ring or to get a form filled out, that's what you're looking at, which is expensive to some of the people that we work with, very expensive.
But is that different than, okay, explain to me the difference between customer acquisition costs and cost of conversion.
Yeah.
That 130 doesn't actually mean it turns into a customer?
No.
Just like I got a friend now?
If your sales team closes at a 30% a sales team gets a lead and their average closing ratio is 30%, you have to factor that math in as well. So how many calls does it take for Lizard to make to turn into a contract? That's your cost per acquisition, right? So you've got your cost per conversion, which our partners should be benchmarking. We help them benchmark. And you've got your cost per acquisition. That's on the sales team. That's what a lot of partners don't get. They'll be like, this is a can I cuss?
You can say whatever you want.
This is a shit lead. This is a great lead. But the truth is, any door that's open, anytime someone's calling you is an opportunity to sell.
But are all leads
They're not all equal. It's fair. Some are outside like the geo. Some are for things you don't do. That happens sometimes. Some are for a competitor. That can happen. So they're not all the same. But you have to do the math as the formula goes to run it against the conversion ratio of your inside sales team. And if you're a business owner, you constantly need to be working with your sales team to improve their conversion ratio. How do you overcome a price objection? Let's set up some scripts. Let's go through some trainings. Let's do some role playing on your meetings or whatever. And what we're seeing in the industry is just to get the phone to ring, generally, a nice average, I would say, is around $130. But my team, I'm proud to say, on your podcast, I am. I'm scared to say it, but I am proud to say it on your podcast. We're seeing in the range of $39 to $64, I think is the highest one that we see right now.
Wow.
And so we're trying to dissect the situation, figure out how to replicate the situation as many times as possible. We're getting a lot of help right now, and we're loving that. But yeah, it's the difference, I think, between looking at a company that's doing digital marketing with you from a distance versus getting in close and being in the trenches with them and caring about every lead that's coming in. Because
what's the difference, though, between a company doing it at a distance versus what you're doing?
It's hard to say, because we have to be so granular for our partners to get a cost that low. I can only imagine that you're doing things like lead brokering, or there's got to be some, I don't know, there's got to be some money that you're taking off the table yourself at a cost per conversion that high. Or you're running campaigns on behalf of your company and you're not optimizing them to improve. Those are the only scenarios I really feel like that would warrant a conversion cost that high. And so we're still like young and hungry, right? And so every conversion, every phone call that we make matters, and we pay attention to it. A lot of times, I know my account manager is listening right now, probably 60% of the time, we're paying closer attention than the business partners that we work with.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
So we're constantly optimizing. Week over week, the girls are optimizing to get better conversions than they did last week. But we get help from Google too, so that helps.
So if you're really able to get cost, is it cost per conversion?
Cost per conversion.
If you're able to get it under $100, let's say you get it to $70, right?
Yep.
And then what would you say, like the median conversion of that lead to an actual customer is in general? Do those statistics exist? I mean,
no, for sure. We see anywhere between 30 to 50% conversion ratios for traditional unsupported teams that we work with.
Okay.
So if it costs $70 to make the phone or to bring a lead in, and we're working with a team that is operating at 50% conversion ratio,
which is
then
high.
we got to make the phone ring twice for it to turn into a contract.
But that's a high conversion rate.
That's a high conversion rate. Yeah.
So on average, then let's say it's $70 as a cost for conversion. It takes 2 rings, so it costs me $1.40 to get that customer.
Then then you start to eat into your profit margin, right? You've got your salaries and wages, your gas costs, your chemical costs, all leading into that contract value. So the lower that we can get the cost, the better the company is at starting out that contract and being profitable.
But the math works though, right? Like if you can pay $1.40 and you're selling on average somewhere between a $500 and $600 a year contract, give or take, right?
Yeah,
you could do that all day
recurring
long.
revenue.
Recurring.
Especially if they're staying on you for 3 to 5 years, you will receive all of that revenue the next year and the following year and the following year and hopefully the following year, right? And so that's how you're kind of building this layer cake of business of increased gross revenue. All of the stuff that we did for our companies in 2023, they receive all of that benefit from their growth this year without the cost.
Yeah.
Right? So
it seems like it, and maybe this isn't the case, but the economics of that seem to work way better than door-to-door customer acquisition costs, which we see from like 80 to 120% of contract value.
We could go down this because you know I come from Killingsworth, which was 6% marketing budget, only ever. That's all we ever spent on marketing, right? And so it's been my experience since we started this marketing company that most companies that are relying on growth for business, for door-to-door, are giving away their money, the owner's money, to grow the company. I won't say who, but we did just have some friends come down to meet up with me and Dad in his shop, and we opened up the P&L and we talked to them about how to think of your business in terms of percentages. You remember, Dad controlled everything by percentage, from personnel to chemical cost to gas cost to marketing.
Remember his spiral notebooks?
Oh
with
yeah,
the pages?
big 3-inch.
I got one of those. He handed me one. Like,
hold this.
Yeah.
And so we're walking through this with them, and when they saw the difference between the net revenue of a company that's reliant on 6% marketing budget versus a company that's reliant on door-to-door, that's losing all that revenue that these people are bringing in at least for a year and a half, if you've got residual payouts going into whatever, their eyes at the floor, because at around 24 million, we still had a 41% profit margin.
Yeah.
And that's a great payday that year.
But your marketing though at Killingsworth was entirely different than what you're doing now. I mean,
a little bit.
You guys had the radio spots. You guys had all those billboards on all those buildings across the city.
Yeah.
And I clearly you were doing online marketing, but not to the level of sophistication you're doing now.
Well, I am more sophisticated on the other stuff now. I would love to do more of that with some of our partners. But can I give some shout outs?
I would love for you to give shout outs.
Shout outs for some guys that are coming up. You're gonna know the goings, okay? They're based out of California, and they're doing a lot of the marketing.
They're the ones that dance.
Yeah. Every time I'm doing the dishes and one of their reels pop up, I like start twerking when I do the dishes. It's embarrassing, actually, that I said that out loud. But you're going to know about them, and it's because they know who they are, they leverage themselves, and they're introducing themselves constantly to their market. Right?
And they're
that's
fun.
what Dad
like,
did.
They're dancing,
they're having
smiling,
fun.
like,
they're not taking themselves too seriously. They are professional, but they are not like robots at your house that care about XYZ. Another company that does a great job is Natura. They're fantastic at telling the stories. The 3 folks on top is brother-sister combo, and the sister Jana's husband. Jake.
Okay, yes, I met Shanna.
Yeah, you met them in Honolulu.
Yep.
They have so much fun. They do not take them. They kind of took off in the pandemic when they were bored. So let's make some videos and see what happens. And they don't take themselves seriously. They have fun. They're teaching their market about their family. And so when the consumer is ready to make a buying decision, and a company like mine has done everything it can to give them the best opportunity to be present when someone's looking for their service, they think in their mind as the consumer, I know these guys. That's that girl that wore that bee outfit and did that weird song. I like them, let's use them, right?
Yep.
And so that's what we did at Killingsworth too. We created messages that resonated with our market, and we told that story as many times as we could. And so when you factor that into your digital marketing efforts, you are compounding your ability to close leads with people who are looking for you and people who are not even ready to look for you yet. It's great.
So if you were to start a pest control company from scratch, knowing what you know about digital marketing versus door-to-door, would you do any door-to-door?
No, not even. I wouldn't eat. No.
But
my answer is hell no.
You have all these LDS partners.
I know.
These guys are doing door-to-door.
Door-to-door, I would say, and this will be another, partners, don't be mad, but it seems like most of the partners that I talked to that were big on door-to-door when we started are relying on door-to-door less as time progresses. Okay. Mostly I feel like the door-to-door movement is moving towards higher contract value things like
solar, and yes.
So even there are still companies that provide that for pest control, but largely that stream of possible employment or opportunities to grow your business in this way is transitioning to another industry, which is great for companies like mine because the partner will be more profitable with partnering with any digital marketing, not just Lizard. Any digital marketing is going to be profitable than door-to-door, ladies and gentlemen. I hate to tell you.
Why don't you have Alan take all of the... You guys are doing a lot of digital for proof, right?
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah.
So why don't you have Alan compare the retention rates on the stuff that came through digital versus his door-to-door stuff? Or maybe you guys have done that.
We have, and here's what's funny about Alan. This is gonna sound, I can't like bootlick, or I can't do that. It's not my thing. That's why I don't work at some places that I. So
I think you've been terminated before, have you not?
I think I've been terminated for that before. But Alan, Proof is one of the only places I've seen it do it right. They do it to launch and support a young branch. They don't do it for all of their branches. They have 10 offices, and they're not like Killingsworth. Killingsworth had 10 offices in one DMA, right? They are, Detroit, Wixom. They're spread out all over the place. And so they use it to support those branches, and then they go and start and launch other branches. So it's great it's like that initial spark that starts a fire. But it's not the thing that sustains the fire. You got to use different fuel to sustain the fire. And my biggest thing with people who are reliant on door-to-door is if you want to enjoy the ride, because there's so much money to be had as a business owner in pest control. You and I have talked about this a lot. The profit margin, the net revenue opportunity is 41% of a $24 million company. And Dad did not have partners. Dad didn't share with even his sons when he was running the ship.
He didn't even recognize you as sons during the business
we had to
day.
call him Mike Rogers when we were at the office, right? But there's so much money to be had. And if you can leverage any type of digital marketing and you know what you're looking for and your digital marketing is constantly improving, you're going to enjoy the ride the whole way, which you couldn't. I don't feel like you can. It's so stressful to start and run a company. Yeah. Why would you do that and not make money?
This is very true.
I don't understand why. Why are you putting yourself through that?
Let me ask you this. When you guys are doing digital marketing, how do you typically geofence this sort of stuff? Like, are you doing it within the zip codes that are designated by...
So a business like Proof or a business like Natura will give us all the zip codes of places they're interested in saturating, and we only offer opportunities to people who are looking for their business inside those areas. And so we do that through 3 different ways. We do that through SEO, through local SEO, and through paid search. And when those things, it's one of the things I'm talking about, AZPPO, spoilers, but this will come out after.
Okay, it will, for sure.
When those 3 things are humming along, you can create as many as 5 opportunities on page 1 of Google to get somebody to interact with your business when you're utilizing all 3 of those things. Most of the people that I know, the people that don't have a good handle on digital marketing, true story, are only using 1 of those things as opposed to 3.
Well, I hear a lot of people in you know, the resi services space have kind of given up on SEO because they're just like, I might as well just, I'm not going to mess around with it. I'll just get paid, right? Is
please, no, please continue. Anybody that's not with Lizard, please continue to give up on SEO because here's the truth. When your digital marketing company is creating SEO that's informed by keyword research, there's a tool on the back end of Google that you use to give you trailing 12-month trend of what users have searched for and the demand for those search terms. So my team creates content based on that information. We know in October, searches like this go high, so let's create content like this. Let's give it to our partners months in advance, load it on their website, and they force Google to crawl their website, right? When they link this to their Google My Business page, what SEO and local SEO does is it creates a higher opportunity for your map pack and your Google My Business to be present when somebody's looking for your business. So you've got the videos on top. So you got the go-ins, right? Let's talk about the go-ins. I'm talking about you guys. You got the go-ins videos on the top row of Google because they are putting out content. They're having fun. It's on YouTube. It's on TikTok. It's there. It's in the videos. So if somebody's searching for pest control, and it's up there. Next, you've got LSAs underneath that. Everybody in our industry knows what local service ads. Okay. It used to be Google guaranteed. All the little guys could leverage it against Orkin, Terminix, Rollins, all these guys. Because it was only for the little guys, and now it's for everybody. And the big guys have big pockets, and so LSA is a very saturated place to invest money. You still should invest money there. You should invest money there, but don't expect it to return the way that it used to.
I see.
Okay, and then you've got your map pack, which is all the little pins that pop up on the Google map and your Google My Business page, and your SEO and your local SEO, when they're linked to your Google My Business, inform your map pack. And then you've got the ads that Anissa produces at $60 a conversion. So by the time you get to the top of that page, if you're doing all these things, you've created multiple opportunities for somebody to see you and to make a decision for your company at the top of the page. So if you're giving up on SEO and you're not with Lizard, you go ahead and give up. You're giving us more room at the top to play. But everybody who knows anything about digital marketing should know better than to give up on those prime spots. Those are 1, 2, 3 places before paid search PPC ads. So that's a big deal.
Matt, this was an awesome first session with you.
Yeah.
When we come back, I want to talk to you about important things for guys like me to think about when we're actually going out to hire a company to do this for us.
Yeah.
So until the next episode.
I'm in. 100.
Awesome.